feels like we're different than we were 8 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So hopefully we come away with a win and we go to the EPL Cup final. Just looking over at our stats of the last game, and we did have 21 shots to their 6. We had 67% percentage to their 33% possession. So hopefully we can continue more of the same. Do you want to do a score prediction and maybe a lineup prediction?
Yeah.
It's interesting because it feels like we're more conscious and more concerned about. It's not even about our possession, right? It's like about controlling the threat of the game.
Mm-hmm.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to American LFC, the podcast where two American brothers talk about the greatest football team on the planet, Liverpool Football Club. Today, we're doing a little bit something different. We're slicing our podcast up into segments. Segment we're talking about right now is upcoming fixtures. We're talking about match predictions. Who do we have next, Eli?
We go to Craven Cottage to play Fulham in the League Cup semifinal, where we carry a 2-1 aggregate scoreline.
Drama. What are you feeling about this game? How are you feeling about it?
I mean, I feel good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously a little bit better aggregate score would make me feel better, but I also think we have the squad depth at this point that we can rotate players and probably still head our way to Wembley for a final.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, one would hope so. I'm just looking over at our stats of the last game, and we did have 21 shots to their 6. We had 67% percentage to their 33% possession. So hopefully we can continue more of the same. Do you want to do a score prediction and maybe a lineup prediction?
Yeah. Let's do a lineup and then score. Okay, so hit me with your defense.
My defense is Joe Gomez. Okay, wait, who's playing left back? Who was the young left back?
There's Scanlon and the other one.
Okay, here, let's start center back. Jarrell Kwanzaa.
Yep.
Joe Gomez, center back.
Okay.
Connor Bradley, right back. Left back.
The academy kid we can't think of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Man, it's going to be tough to say. I think he's going to do McAllister.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll probably do. He'll probably do the same midfield. He'll probably do Curtis, McAllister, and Elliott. You know.
Mm-hmm.
They're 23, 24. They're all like within their early to mid 20s, so they got 2 games in their legs a week, I would think.
And I saw something that Harvey Elliott is approaching Milner's record in the lactic test.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's super impressive. Yeah, so that's who I think for the midfield, and I think probably Gakpo. I think Nunez and Lucho Diaz probably.
Yeah.
And then we'll probably bring on Jota in the 60th minute. That's what I think will probably happen.
I don't have anything wildly different than that because honestly, we do need to play a fairly strong lineup to establish ourselves in the game and get an early goal and not have things get real antsy if they were to score a goal against the run of play. You know what I mean?
Totally. Here is the lineup from our previous game against Fulham just a week ago. Kelleher in goal. Joe Gomez left back. Virgil van Dijk center back. Ibrahima Konate center back. Connor Bradley right back. Ryan Gravenberch, Alexis McAllister, and Curtis Jones midfield. Harvey Elliott right wing, Diogo Jota and Lucho Diaz. And then Darwin Nunez and Cody Gakpo came on. Gakpo obviously scored a goal in the 71st minute. Curtis Jones also scored a goal in the 68th minute. But so it does feel like maybe he'd probably go with something pretty similar to that.
I think the only
I mean?
change I would make is maybe give Kwanzaa the start over
Or Van Dijk.
Van Dijk.
Right.
But otherwise, I would pretty much run the same lineup if everyone's
if the
healthy.
sports scientists say that their muscle fibers can take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. And Craven Cottage is a tough place to go. It's not going to be like super welcoming atmosphere. It definitely has jeopardy in this game. It has jeopardy of being a banana skin, but I don't think that's. I just don't think that's where we're at. I think that we've got the mentality to deal with it.
Yeah.
I really do. It's so interesting to think about upcoming games because you kind of have to look at who's available. And just off of the top of our heads, Mo Salah, who's a starter, Wataru Endo, who's usually a starter, Trent Alexander-Arnold, who is a starter, Andy Robertson, who is a starter, Tsimikas, who is the backup to his starter. So we're like pretty deep on left backs here. Thiago Alcantara, who arguably would arguably start some sort of games. This would be a perfect game for Stefan Bajcetic if he was available. Dominic Soboslai also out with an injury. You got anything else? That was 8. That was just off of the top of my head. And by the way, all of Ben Doak. I think Ben Doak would be the most fringe of those players.
Yeah,
but
no,
I would
absolutely.
say,
But I'm saying this is the kind of game he would potentially play, though.
100%. All 8 of those players are Premier League proven and ready players. Half of them are dead on starters, and the other half are like either the first people to come off of the bench. So it is interesting to look at upcoming games. Fulham, just thinking that we still have quite a ways to go before we're like full strength, like truly firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be that long though, right? Because we've got Trent and Soboslai are going to be just another week or two, I think.
Okay.
Robertson should be coming back shortly after that. And then we know Salah's out for about a month, and then Endo will be back in 3 weeks. So let's say, do you have the schedule up? What are our games in the next, we'll say, 3 weeks?
Okay, next 3 weeks, we've got Fulham on Wednesday. We have Norwich City in the 4th round of the FA Cup on Sunday. We have Chelsea Football Club at, I think, Stamford Bridge on the following Wednesdays, so 9 days from today. We have Arsenal the following Sunday after that, which is at the Emirates. We have Burnley the following Saturday, I believe. So we have like a week there, I think, or 6 days between Arsenal and Burnley. So there's like a really run every 3 days, basically, every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, right? That's 3 days, and then Monday, Tuesday is 2 days. Okay, so every 2 or 3 days we've got a game until the beginning of February, basically. So
all right.
Yeah.
Well,
So there are a lot of games to be played. Let me see here. Just a quick. So I'm just pulling this up. There's this is from the LFC website. It was just updated about 2 weeks ago, and so this is just before the previous Fulham game, and this is sort of giving people an idea of what our injuries are. Thiago Alcantara and Stefan Bajcetic injuries. Looks like there's no return date for either of them. Alexander-Arnold. Okay, so this is actually just sort of a list. Sorry, this is through the LFC website. This is just sort of a list of people who are available and who are unavailable. There's no specific dates on return. So sorry, I went down a cul-de-sac there. I thought it was going to give us something interesting, but it yielded very little.
Yeah, well, that happens sometimes. You got to recycle the possession.
Yeah.
So speaking of which, score predictions.
3-1.
Ooh, I was
Liverpool
going to say
Football
3-0
Club.
in favor of Liverpool.
Yeah, I do think that we have become more conscious of being defensive minded. It's interesting because it feels like we're more conscious and more concerned about. It's not even about our possession, right? It's like about controlling the threat of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It feels like that's something that's been more prioritized over the last couple of weeks instead of like just, and maybe it's because the front line is starting to fire a little bit, and maybe maybe the rest of the team's feeling a little less concerned about it going in the back of the net, but so that they can kind of double down on defense. But I saw an interview with Klopp, I think it was right after the Bournemouth game, and he was talking to somebody, I think from Sky, and they asked a question about like this new vein of form that we've sort of uncovered, and he was like, oh, it started in the United game. And I'm wondering if that's what he's talking about, which is that we are sort of being able to play with a confidence level that we might not have the ball, but we're controlling the game.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means, but that's how it feels anyway. It feels like we're different than we were 8 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So hopefully we come away with a win and we go to the EPL Cup final. Is that what they call it?
EFL.
The EFL. Yeah, of course it can't be the EPL. That's ridiculous, Nate. Who do you think we play?
Middlesbrough. Yep.
You think Middlesbrough will beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge?
I do, yeah.
Okay. If that's true, what does that mean for us playing Chelsea the following week?
They're just going to be 6s and 7s. I mean,
you think so?
Yeah,
they're not going to be resolute.
They're
not going to be
fire
like,
right now. No.
Are they? Are they that bad? Have you been paying close attention to Chelsea Football Club recently?
Not at all.
Okay. I don't think they're quite as much of a dumpster's fire as you think.
Aren't they in like 13th place?
Maybe. I don't know. Let me see if I can find a quick look here of their most recent games. They just beat Preston in the FA Cup 4-0. Good on them. They beat Luton Town in the Premier League. They beat Crystal Palace so that's 2 wins in the last. They lost to Wolves just before Christmas. They beat Newcastle in the EFL Cup. They beat Sheffield. They lost to Chelsea in early December. They lost to... Okay.
Who are you looking at right now? Who lost to Chelsea?
Oh, I'm sorry. Everton. Sorry,
yeah.
They looked exactly the same.
Yeah.
They're currently in 9th place with 31 points. And, their last 5 games, they've won 4 and lost 1. So...
Okay, well, I'm not worried about it.
Okay. Great. Okay. Is there anything else that we need to update about upcoming games for this segment?
I don't think so. So you're calling 3-1 and I'm calling 3-0.
Yep, 3-1, 3-0.
Final predictions. All right.
Let us know what your predictions are in the comments below.
Yeah. Like, subscribe. Let us know what you think about the new segment format we've got going here.
Give us the news. Tell us what's up.
Yeah,
and
all right.
I think that's about it. And we'll talk to y'all soon.
All right, thanks.
Cheers.